All right. Hello, fifth grade friends. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pinch pot. And some of the things you're going to want to think about when you start with your clay ball is getting it nice and smooth. You can pat it down. You can roll it in your hands. You can roll it on the table. We want to make it nice and smooth, so we start out with a ball of clay. Once you've got a nice smooth ball, you're going to take that thumb, you're going to take your thumb and you're going to press and make a hole, not all the way through, but you can kind of, if you're holding it in one hand, you can feel a little pressure through the clay that you've gone deep enough, but you're not trying to poke through the bottom. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pointer finger and my middle finger with my thumb and I'm going to pinch. And you want to do this slow, because if you pinch too fast, you're going to open it up way too much. So I pinch usually and I turn it in one hand. Or you can put it on your placemat. You can pinch and you can kind of turn it that way. You want to also make sure that you smooth out the bottom. So sometimes that's taking your thumb and kind of pushing and dragging it up to help move that clay onto the sides. Now, a good pinch pot has a thickness on the edge about as thick as your finger, a little bit smaller, but you want that consistency to be the same all the way around, and you want that consistency to be at the bottom. A lot of times students start a pinch pot and it looks great on top, but down here there's so much clay left behind. They didn't take their thumb and dig it out. That's one of the things that I see happen a lot, is it's really heavy on the bottom because they didn't smooth out the bottom of the clay to make it even. It should be even on the bottom, it should be even on the sides, and this takes a little bit of time. Now, the good thing about clay is that if you make a mistake, you can start over, but you need to remember that the more times you mess with the clay and kind of squish it, the more it's going to dry it out. So try your best just to take your time the first 2 times. If it takes you a couple tries, and then you should be all right. I always like to smooth out the cracks too. So this is a nice pinch pot. This is a nice pinch pot. Now, one of the things that I also have noticed that students will do is they will widen it so they start to pinch, but then they get it too thin on the edges. And when it's thin like this, the edges move. In comparison to this one, it's a little bit more sturdy. Now, you're going to be adding on accessories like a head, a hand, a foot, a tail, a handle, depending on what you're making. So you want it to be thick enough to support those things. Let's just say I'm trying to add a head onto this and I want to attach this on. It's going to droop and it's going to fall because this is too thin. It may be bigger, but it's too thin and it won't be strong enough. So keep that in mind as you're sculpting. Okay? Nice even edges, even on the bottom, and voila,